All right, so the last session for the week, and 195 squat. Actually, it was pretty good. It's getting heavier, obviously, but I say for the speed that I'm looking at as I'm reviewing my own lifts, it's pretty good. And I think I mentioned this before, but really the key difference is just really using the hips to drive yourself out of the bottom, right? So obviously you can't bend over too much because then it looks like a good morning. But, you know, I think some hip drive out of the bottom becomes inevitable as the weight becomes heavier. So, yeah, I guess it's just kind of like you might as well use it since that's going to happen anyways. But I want to say this is really going to be more of a overhead press thing, but the overhead press, I'm actually kind of pretty happy with how the progression is going. So you'll see in a couple of seconds or a minute, but the overhead press I did for 3 sets of 5 at 119, which I honestly thought I was going to fail on the press. Because, I kind of felt that way since 117 and 118 and 119, where every single weight was just, man, it just felt like I was so close to failure. But surprisingly, I managed to, complete all my sets with good reps. And so I do think that with the overhead press, it really is very, I don't want to say technique, but the bar path is very critical, unlike the bench press where you could kind of just like muscle and grind through it. And yeah, you can grind through an overhead press, but there is some timing aspect to it that's just a bit more sensitive. But yeah, I would say that two things that I noticed is I really like how the press and the bench press is alternated. And I really do think that kind of gives you that enough frequency but recovery aspect. So meaning that, you do bench on day 1, then press on day 2, then bench on day 3, then rinse and repeat. And so this does kind of, it drives enough stimulus to make you grow and get stronger, but you're not getting so fatigued because you're just only doing one thing. And they do complement each other, because I do think that you need a strong bench for overhead press to some degree. But that's just for me personally. And the other thing was like the micro loading, where I know that if you go to a commercial gym, usually you see 5 pounds and maybe 2.5 pounds, but you never see anything below that, right? So I have micro loaded plates all the way from 0.5 pound to 1.5 total, right? So that'd be like a 0.25 on each side, all the way up to 1 pound on each side, and so on and so forth. But I personally just do a 1 pound jump on the overhead press. And, there's pros and cons. I think that if it just really depends on your strength potential and where you are. But if you're just starting out, obviously it doesn't make sense to do a small jump. But as you get higher, then it makes more sense to do micro-loaded plates, which I've been liking. So anyways, that's just my random commentary for today. So see you guys on the next one.